Today's news.
Outrage over leaked war plans.
This debacle requires a full investigation.
Defense Secretary responds.
Nobody was texting war plans.
Deportation court battle.
There was immediate skepticism from some of the appellate judges.
Good morning, I'm Steve Kathan. With the CBS World News Roundup, there are calls for an investigation after a stunning security lapse. A journalist says the Trump administration accidentally texted him plans for American military strikes in Yemen earlier this month. The defense secretary denies it. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is at the Pentagon.
The U.S. bombed Houthi rebels, an Iran-backed terrorist organization operating in Yemen, on March 15th. But 2 days earlier, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz started a group chat on the non-government-approved messaging app Signal, sharing sensitive details and policy discussions with 18 participants, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and, by accident, Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine.
I assumed that someone was playing a hoax. I found it completely improbable that the top national security leadership of the United States would be discussing on a commercial messaging app the possible imminent attack on another country.
The chat included group debate about the necessity and timing of the strikes. And then hours before the attack, Goldberg says Hegseth shared sensitive and possibly classified operational details, including information about targets, weapons, and attack sequencing. Goldberg finally believed the chat was authentic when bombs rained down on Yemen and messages of celebration and even emojis flooded the chat.
I inadvertently discovered a massive security breach in the way the national security establishment conducts its business.
The National Security Council said in a statement that the thread appears to be authentic, saying they're reviewing how an inadvertent number was added, but Hegseth denied the allegation.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinogradov says sharing top-secret details over Signal likely violated the Espionage Act.
By communicating classified information on a non-secure platform like Signal, senior U.S. government officials increase the chance that foreign governments could get access to sensitive operational security plans.
The legal fight over the Trump administration's deportation of Venezuelan migrants to a prison in El Salvador played out in a Washington appeals court. Here's CBS's Scott McFarland.
One of the three judges, Patricia Millett, made a blistering accusation about how the operation was carried out.
There were no procedures in place to notify people. Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act.
That act is a wartime authority that doesn't require due process. Its use by the Trump administration has sparked a major battle after District Judge James Boasberg temporarily blocked such deportations. The Department of Justice is trying to get that decision overturned and pushed back yesterday.
The district court's order represents an unprecedented and enormous intrusion upon the powers of the executive branch.
Trump border czar Tom Homan blasted Judge Millett's argument.
First of all, it's ridiculous. It's just another example of a radical judge saying something that's just disgusting, to stir anything to Nazis. The Holocaust.
The stakes here are immeasurable.
Tom Dupree is a former Justice Department official in the Bush administration.
These are fundamental questions that really get to the balance of power under our Constitution. And so the way this case is resolved is going to set a very important precedent for what happens in the United States over the next few years.
West Virginia is the first state in the nation to ban most artificial dyes in foods. And as we hear from CBS's Nancy Chen, it's not likely to be going it alone.
Starting August 1st, the new law prohibits any products that have the 7 listed artificial food dyes from being served in schools. Starting January 1st, 2028, though, West Virginia's ban will also include 2 more preservatives that will no longer be allowed in food or drugs in the state. In a statement, West Virginia's Governor Patrick Morrisey, he said, "We're taking steps toward improving the health of our residents and protecting our children from significant long-term health and learning challenges." Now, this is a movement that is catching on. This year alone, at least 20 states have introduced bills to crack down on artificial dyes and additives.
4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill.